I'm going to try and keep the ball rolling. One of the things that's also been great about being here is the number of times that I've come to Norway's Arctic. It's been a real privilege to be here on a regular basis. But my first time in the Arctic was actually about 27 years ago in Iqaluit, in Nunavut. It was my first opportunity to travel to the Arctic. And one of the other things that's, as Canada's ambassador here in Norway, that's interesting to share with Norwegians is to share how big the country is. And the city of Iqaluit on Baffin Island is comparatively small. But Baffin Island, which is part of the territory of Nunavut, is actually about 40% larger than the entire country of Norway. And if you look at Canada's entire Arctic area, it's about 4 million square kilometers with a population of about 125,000 people, which is about the size of Buda and Tromsø combined. So if you want to talk about some of the challenges of working in that space. And our next speaker it's a real honor to introduce her, Monica Ell Kanayuk. She's the Deputy Premier of the Territory of Nunavut. She's the Minister of Economic Development and Transportation for the territory, and I think that she will be able to share with you both some of the great things that it is about being from Nunavut and the culture and heritage of the Inuit people, but also some of the challenges that come with being in such an enormous territory. Ladies and gentlemen, the Minister, Monica Ell Kanayuk. I'll pop the ball. The ball is yours.
Thank you. Merci. Tak. I would like to first acknowledge that what an honor it is to be here in this inaugural event. It is an exciting opportunity, bringing together the polar countries that share experiences and foster dialogue for our culture and our art and our future development. Culture is what defines us and makes us unique in each of our countries, territories, and communities together. However, it is more than the customs that we follow and the clothes that we wear. While our traditions are closely held and even cherished, these outward representations of our culture and also vulnerability to culture appropriation and do not on their own sum up our culture. Instead, culture is how we view the world, how we interact, how we communicate, and what we value. It is vital to us as the air we breathe. Our culture literally sustains us. At the same time, it can be so much a part of us that we don't always appreciate its significance until it is challenged. That can occur through a lack of acceptance and condemnation by others, irresponsible approaches to development, and yes, even effects of climate change. We are starting to see climate change impacting our traditional way of life. The elders tell us stories of how things used to be not so long ago. Hunters today are experiencing less stable ice, sometimes with tragic consequences. Waterways open much sooner, animals changing their behavior. We are even seeing southern birds flying further north. Fortunately, these important concerns impacting our culture are what we are here today to talk about. It is important for all of us to share our experiences and learn how to protect and even promote our own unique cultural landscape while creating a sustainable future. Secondly, I want to say how pleased I am to be here in Norway and Harstad in particular. Now, to add a little perspective, it is interesting to note that Harstad is almost the same latitude as a Nunavut community of Joe Haven in the Kitikmeot region. In fact, if we traveled directly 3,900 kilometers west, we would be in Joe Haven. And as you know, that is where Norway's famed Arctic explorer, Ronald Amundsen, wintered the expedition ship, the Joe. Earlier generation of local Nunavut people hosted its crew and taught Amundsen Arctic survival skills. The handmade harpoons, snow goggles, and snow knives that proved invaluable to his future. Expeditions were on display in Oslo for many years. More recently, several have been repatriated and now are on display at the Nunavut Heritage Center in Joe Haven, which opened in 2013. Another historical note is the raising of the Maud, Amundsen's sailing ship commissioned for his later expeditions. It was 100 years ago this year that the Maud was launched in her home port. She set sail the following year for the Northwest Passage under Amundsen's command, and in her later years, she served as a floating warehouse for the Hudson's Bay Company until she sunk in 1930. The Maud now rests in Cambridge Bay, awaiting her homeward journey. It marks another connection between our countries and highlights the Arctic spirits of cooperation, resilience, and innovation. Given the interest generated by the recent discoveries of the HMS, Terror, and Erebus, the world attention to the Northwest Passage, our communities are seeing a notable increase in marine tourism traffic. Over 170 years since Sir Franklin's fateful expedition, Nunavut welcomes the world's largest cruise ship, the Crystal Serenity, as it sailed through the Northwest Passage with stops in Cambridge Bay, in Nunavut's western region, and Pond Inlet, and the Qikiqtaaluk region, which is also known, as you heard earlier, Baffin Island, to the east. Our challenge will be to greet the world and proudly showcase the beauty and future of our territory while ensuring our areas of cultural, historical, and environmental importance are respected and protected. And it is critically important that the Inuit are heard. Of course, we knew where Franklin's ship were along the way. If only we had been consulted earlier, maybe. Nunavut was established through negotiation to assert Inuit rights over the vast land in which our ancestors have lived and thrived to protect our language and our culture for our future. Generations our government is based on traditional consensus and respects Inuit Kaujumajatuhangit, which means traditional knowledge, and adheres to Inuit societal values. Most notably, we achieved this division of land, the first change to Canada's map since 1949, without conflict, of thriving in the harshest conditions. We are recognized not only for our patience, but for our resilience. It is our culture. We continue to face the challenges of meeting all the aspirations of a new territory, and yet we have achieved much in the 18 years since Nunavut's inception. We strive to create new opportunities for our youthful population by developing our economic sectors. We strive to develop much needed infrastructure to facilitate economic growth. We strive to develop partnerships to leverage investments, dollars, and attract much needed capital. This must be done in a manner that respects our land, our culture, and our people. Of course, this is not an easy task, with every vested interest, whether that be an individual, a community, or a region, may hold a different view on the appropriate approach towards development and protection that may be required. To ensure Nunavut have a voice in the territory's economic development, we launched a broad consultation across our 25 communities to solicit their input on how the government should secure a territory's future economic growth. We assembled a project team with representations from government of Nunavut, Nunavut Tungavik Incorporated, which is an Inuit land claims organization, and the Government of Canada. And perhaps for the first time ever for Nunavut, we were able to establish a project team in which each member was completely fluent in Inuktitut and from proud Inuit heritage backgrounds with strong northern roots. We are still analyzing the responses we received from the 6-month consultation. The on-site meetings were also complementary to the survival, accessible in all 4 official languages, and a hard copy was online. The summary consultation document, Tusaktavut, will be what is called What We Heard, and will be the basis for the Nunavut's 10-year economic development strategy, and cover the range of economic activity from harvesting, mining, fisheries, and the arts. It complements earlier strategies such as Tungasayit, a tourism strategy for Nunavut, Sanawait, a strategy for growth of Nunavut's arts and crafts sector, and Pangnautit, mineral and mining strategy, a foundation for the future. Through Tusaktavut, we hope to create an economic vision that Nunavut can embrace and that will drive the territory's development, respecting the culture and values on which it was established. We look forward to hearing or sharing our experiences with you and to hear yours. In closing, I invite all of you to visit Nunavut, our new international Iqaluit airport. In our capital city, begins operations in August, and it will showcase the talent of Inuit artists. It's a must-see. We look forward to welcoming you and others and showing you the world to what Nunavut has to offer. So, Hoyan Namig, thank you, merci.
Thank you very much, Minister. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.